It's been about 10 years since the infamous Godzilla PS4 game released at the tail end of 2014 in Japan or 2015 in the West. Now, for those who have followed my channel for a while know that I am a big Godzilla fan. That's probably an understatement. In my previous collection video, which I will be updating later this year, I briefly showed this game, which I kind of forgot about until digging it out. Godzilla has a weird video game history. There have been Godzilla games since the NES, actually even older, dating back to '83, right before the Heisei revival. There are lots of Godzilla games that aren't very good, and some are just downright nightmarish. It wasn't until the GameCube, PS2, Xbox era that they finally started to figure it out. Godzilla fighting games allowing you to play as your favorite kaiju from different eras with absurd combos and monster mayhem. These were the games that Godzilla fans really wanted. This game, however, was meant to be a true kaiju simulator, allowing you to experience what it was like to be a giant monster, bringing destruction and chaos to humanity. Well, that was the idea, at least. The year was 2014, and Godzilla had made a major resurgence in popularity. Toho closed off the monster with Final Wars in 2004, and it would be 10 years before the next movie featuring the Big G. This was Godzilla 2014, the beginning of the legendary film series that would bring in a new generation of G fans. It was the perfect time to have a new game out, although the rest of the world didn't really get it until 2015. And the responses were not super positive, many critiquing the visual style of the game as well as its gameplay. Most notorious was its lack of co-op, resorting to only online battles being available. At some point around 2017, the game fell under the popular case of copyright hell, as is common with Godzilla media, and it was delisted from digital stores, making the value of the physical games skyrocket. So today we're gonna look at this game a decade later and see if it truly deserved the hate that it got, and if it's worth that crazy price tag. The intro of the game is pretty dope, showcasing all the different kaiju accompanied by the iconic Godzilla theme, which I guess is why we have a recording block on it. It's not exactly like there's a spoiler in the animation, unless the 2014 variant at the end counts as a spoiler, even though he's available from the start for the Western PS4 release and is all over the marketing for the game. The game opens with a tutorial set in 1954 using the Heisei model for some reason. Not that I'm mad, being that that is my favorite design of Godzilla, but wouldn't it make more sense to use the Showa model? Which is in the game, mind you, it's the 60s version, but still. Hell, we even get to destroy the TV tower like in the movie. Afterwards, we get lengthy explanations about G energy, not that anyone cares. It's a fuel that attracts Godzilla and increases his size. The core of the game, really. After the tutorial, let's just go ahead and do that, thank you. There are some cool filters on here, but they mess with the frame rate, so I'm just going to stick with the standard for now. We've got 4 major modes to look at here. God of Destruction mode, which basically the main mode of the game. King of Kaiju mode, where you face off against kaiju in 6 stages, each getting more difficult as we progress. Or at least it's supposed to. Versus mode, where you play online exclusively. I can't imagine it's a super active community in this game. Evolution mode is basically where you go to upgrade your monsters. And diorama mode is so you can feel like a kid playing with your toys again, creating your own little scenarios with the in-game models you unlock. God of Destruction mode lets you play as Godzilla through branching stages trying to make old Zilly as big as he can get. You go ashore to different maps, destroy everything, and fight a monster or two. The controls are certainly a choice. They really wanted this to be a kaiju simulator, and the controls make you feel as limited as a guy in the suit. Use your bumpers to turn with slow movement. You also have a dash and tackle move, your basic smacking combos, and a tail whip. And of course, the signature atomic breath, as well as the super blast that Heisei introduced. So the movement is pretty wonky and has received a lot of criticism, but truthfully, it doesn't take long to feel natural. I've heard so many complain about the controls, but they're pretty straightforward when you give them a chance. After all, we are playing Godzilla, and it makes you feel like you're playing Godzilla. There's actual weight to his movement. There's even a button combination to do the roar, which is kind of the only form of defense in this game, I found out later on. The graphics also got a lot of complaints, but when I played this back in 2014, I thought it was pretty fine. Looking back on it now, some of the textures are still very PS3. The PS4 itself was still pretty new to me at the time, and the game was originally released on the PS3 in Japan, which looks pretty damn good for it. For what the game is, I think it looks fine. In terms of mobility, my only real issue is with hitting flying enemies or helicopters. It's like how close I perceive them to be doesn't matter. I'ma get them. Nope, alright, let's, next one. What the hell? So the main things about these stages is getting 100% damage, meaning you destroy any destructible property on the map, keeping that fury meter up. Basically a combo. That's what increases Godzilla's size, and you want to aim for 100 meters. There's also getting these 4 snapshots in each map, which I'll detail their importance later. After the first map is cleared, we'll see that there's a map here with many branching options. The only real difference to keep in mind here when picking your path is difficulty. The top one is easy, and the lower one is hard. You'll also see that the enemies are random at first. Eventually clearing stages will actually show you who you'll be going up against when you replay and deciding what monsters you want to grind for. Because yes, you have to beat certain monsters through RNG to upgrade Godzilla, or the other kaiju. For shits and giggles, I went straight for the harder one to see what that even means. Whew, the pollution here is crazy. I wonder which boss will pop up here. I guess the bosses are more aggressive per difficulty. It's still pretty easy to stun lock them. Basic combos seem pretty useless against Hedorah here. So, we'll do the good old-fashioned tail whip, tail whip, tail whip. They still do some damage though, as I almost died here. I did end up getting 100% destruction, but it took so long that the disaster level went up. This means that the military starts using more competent means against the player. Why they waited to send the good stuff out for Godzilla is beyond me, but that's what Shin was all about. No point in sending out our best hand yet? Are they stupid? That's Godzilla! They also play some famous Godzilla OSTs in the game, such as the Military March. Oh hey look, it's Rodan. Rodan is so much easier to fight than Hedorah. I'm not quite sure why that's a reality, but that's what happened. Look, I even got to string a combo together here. You will notice when playing against monsters that their height does play a role in how difficult they are to beat. If you're going up against a 100-meter monster when you're only like 60 meters, it's probably gonna be a little tricky. Now for one of the little issues of this game, I got 99% destruction here. Where the hell is the last piece at? Turns out I missed a little spot all the way back at the beginning, and I had to move my slow, big monster ass all the way from one end to the other. Nothing, just a slow ass march back and forth. Mind you, I was looking around the whole map also to find that last little thing I hadn't blown up. And it probably took more time than just actually playing the map at the beginning. Another difference with hard mode is that there is a timer, of which I just completely didn't even notice when playing this, and I lost because of that. And that's it, game over. Aw, look at little Anguirus. Even in this game, he's the weakest enemy. He's still cute as hell though. A popular meme for this game was the repetitive lines. Thankfully, playing this game in Japanese makes it a little less tedious on the ears, but I'm also so zoned out when playing this game, I don't even really notice it, to be honest with you. There's a certain point when playing this that you realize this is the entire game, and you kind of just log out of the world, hitting the buttons and wondering if something might happen, or if you're just better off watching a Godzilla movie. The charm of being Godzilla and destroying stuff wears off fast, and after a couple missions, I really just wanted to go and play something else. And I don't really have a short attention span, I'm typically a completionist gamer, but this does not keep a hold on me. And I am a die-hard G fan. It does get to a point where it just becomes, oh hey, it's that kaiju I know, beat him up, and then, yeah, that's it. It is pretty fun to fight against those kaiju on their appropriate maps, gives you that sense of reenactment. The later stages did get a little stressful though. I zoned out again. Only 40 seconds left. Come on, go, 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 you son of a bitch. I don't even have time to fight the bosses anymore. I mean, look at this. Super X? That seems pretty doable, but the time is already almost up. And then here's Super X2? Okay, well, I really gotta rush these generators. There's only one more left. Oh, come on! Now, if you do destroy the generators first, you don't have to worry about the timer anymore, and you can just fight the monsters, or you can even go around getting the rest of the destruction that you missed. The problem here for me is that these are all 3 flying enemies. Honestly, 1 and 2 were pretty easy, but 3 is just annoying. It keeps circling around me like an asshole. We're gonna fight, or am I just getting an air show here? I got stuff to do, bro. Alright, well, I'm just gonna go destroy some stuff around the map until you make up your mind. Wait, to be continued? What is this? The game's not over yet. I still have like 3 more stages left, at least. Okay, well, I unlocked this other stuff. That's pretty cool. Can I finish the game now? Begin Godzilla's rampage from stage 1. What? Why are we starting over? I'm pretty sure to be continued doesn't mean to start the game over from the fucking start. I believe that implies that we start where it left off. Apparently, to unlock these locked stages here, we need more data snapshots, and I guess I missed a couple playing this for the first time. We'll try out the easy mode to make this go a little faster. It's actually pretty funny that your difficulty determines which political leader you're going up against. Your decision determines who gets the job of anti-kaiju business. It's pretty damn funny. I gotta again praise these kaiju introductions. They're pretty damn awesome. I mean, look at this OG Mechagodzilla intro. After doing that, I finally unlocked the next stages. These 2 stages took a little bit more concentration. Stage 8, we had to fight Gotengo and Space Godzilla at the same time. And then Stage 9 had us fighting against Heisei Mechagodzilla, who only really took damage from melee hits. Overall, it wasn't too difficult, but took a little bit more concentration. But instead of unlocking the final stage, we got ending credits. Still wild, as we haven't beaten the game yet. It seems that I also have to reach 100 meters to unlock the last mission. Before going for round 3, I took a peek at the leveling menu, and as I found out by this point, I have to fight specific monsters to get upgrades. I have almost 2,000 of this evolution energy, but no Mothra cells, so I went to the King of Kaiju mode in hopes of getting some cells. Unfortunately, that did not happen, although it did illustrate another major issue with this game. Fighting other monsters kinda just sucks. And even though I haven't really upgraded that much, it's just not very good. And why is Ghidorah the easiest one to fight? That doesn't make any sense. I realize the priority here is being a kaiju simulator, but this is a flaw with the game. The clunkiness of the controls doesn't really help you much when fighting against other kaiju. You either get your ass whooped or you obliterate them completely, and neither one of those is really that fun. Alright, back to the main game. Oh boy, I hope this is finally the Mothra larva I've been waiting for. I think I just pooped a little bit. Well, that was lore accurate. Oh look, this one has 2 kaiju. Well, I finally hit 100 meters. I'm not gonna lie, playing at over 100 meters is really fun. I'm finally starting to feel like the giant monster that I should be. And it doesn't stop at 100 either, no. No, there's no limit. We keep going up. Now I made it back to the final stage, but then... credits again? I was growing concerned, and then BAM! Burning Godzilla. Oh, hell yeah! Who are we gonna fight, huh? Destroya? What did humanity ever do to deserve this? Well, isn't that a silly damn question? Someone hasn't watched the movies. Oh! It's 2014 Godzilla! I actually did forget he was in this. And you know, he looks... he's kind of cute in, like, an ugly dog kind of way. Something about beating Hollywood Godzilla with burning Godzilla is immensely satisfying. And then we unlock the ending cutscene, which is certainly something. The military freezes burning Godzilla and Kiryu drops him into the sea. I guess I didn't need Kiryu anymore either. After a bit of grinding, I finally got Mothra, but I couldn't upgrade anything until finishing the current session. So I had to go through all of that before looking at the upgrades. Finally, I can level up, and I can level up once. That was worth it. Now my dash is a little bit longer. There is also a defend mode, which allows you to play as the ally kaiju, but I don't have any unlocked. And there's also invade mode, which is the same exact thing, but you can pick whatever kaiju you want to play as. That's about the extent I can stretch from this game. It's a really interesting piece of Godzilla history, and there's still more stuff to unlock in it, but this is immensely grindy, and I have already spent more time on this game than I had expected to. Now, the big question. Is this game worth the big dollar signs? No, it's not. It's a cool game. Only really if you're a Godzilla fan. It's overloaded with references and fan service, obviously, but its focus is on its replayability based on minimal content. It's a really cool game for fans, but it doesn't really match up to its predecessors. I do think that this game was a bit overhated though. It's fun to waste a few hours on, definitely, especially if you're a fan of the source material, but for over $200? I wouldn't even recommend that for diehard collectors like myself. I'd recommend against it unless you find it for a really good deal. And like I said, the game isn't that awful, but the price does not match up. Only reason I have this game is because I got it for 20 bucks, not even that long after it came out. And I probably played maybe just a couple hours of it before putting it back on my shelf and doing something else. It's cute for a while, but eventually it just turns into one of those games that you'll fondly remember in the back of your mind as it collects dust on your shelf. Still, I had fun revisiting this, and I can see myself playing it again, probably in a year or two maybe, but for now, that's about all I can get out of the game. Did you guys get this game when it came out? Did you also think it was a bit overhated? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, and if you haven't already, please subscribe as it really helps my channel out a lot. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.